All right, microphone check. There we go. All right. Microphone check. Testing. 1, 2. Is it good now? My streaming software did some crazy huge update, and when I loaded it up, it looked fine. And then when I got it ready to jump on the stream, the whole thing was different. It's like, okay. Well, hey. All right. Well, we're up and going now. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully you're having a great day so far. Let's see here. The overall movement that's been going on so far on the S&P, just generally looking at the structure of things, it's mostly sideways. I mean, we've got the S&P started with a new high, then down to a new low. Got two legs down to a new low. So, I mean, it did equalize a little bit and then ended up rotating. Whoops, let's try a color I can see. Rotated back up, two legs up. And it really looked like it was going to try to get two legs down and then just dumpstered on the sellers. It went flying back up. So now that we've got these highs, this is going to be a big area because a lot of buyers, the buyers who absorbed all of that selling, rather, are going to be looking to take profit. What better place than the highs, you know? So it's just a wild, big chunk of potential resistance up here for the S&P. And for the NASDAQ, I mean, NASDAQ hasn't done anything today. It's barely there. Chop myself on the NQ. Yeah. It's brutal today. Just all over the place. Same thing, you know, new low, then a new high, then a new low, and then lower high, higher low, and now we're in a wedge. Market's trying to break out of the wedge. I mean, realistically, you know, okay, cool. It can try to break out of the wedge all it wants, but we're in a range day. So, I mean, I got to say, I don't really believe it. There we go. All right. S&P pulling back. We got a little bit of juice to the downside here. So again, this is all that profit taking up on the top. This is what you expect to see. If we look at the overall profile and load up the volume, I mean, it's fairly obvious what happened. Buyers bought down here, 36.69 quarter average. I mean, all over the place through here and a little bit down there. And guess where they took profit, right? Right where you were talking about back at the highs, 36.80.75. Gigantic chunk of volume up there, and now we're seeing a bit of a pullback. So just be careful catching falling knives here. The buyers who were propping this market up aren't there anymore. So be careful buying too aggressive on this. Might be a little bit more to the downside. Honestly, the way this is moving right now, and given the failure off of the top, I wouldn't mind a possibility of a short 36.75. A couple different ways to approach it too. You've got the viable wider zone of resistance, which would be above the highs, than the secondary zone of resistance, which would be a little bit narrower. We'll see if we're able to get a little bit more continuation back to the downside. Looking at the S&P overall, it came up to the top, failed off the top, came back up to the top again, failed off the top again. This time we saw a lot more profit taking, and given the context, it just makes sense to see sellers want to try to get another leg down. It's just a matter of whether or not they can actually follow through. Looks like they're doing a good job, but they're doing it without me. Come back. This is actually a good thing. The harder it presses down, the more the bulls are stuck, which means that when it does pop higher, they're going to be a little bit faster to exit. So that means that if this is correct, if the analysis is correct, the drive down should be pretty fast. Likely for 2-to-1 objectives, at least. NASDAQ pulling back to retest possibly the wedge breakout point. Got about 20 minutes left. S&P's just getting crushed right now. Jeez. We'll see if they're able to to get this to pop back up or not. Lordy. They might have just left me in the dust. Look at the amount of volume coming in, too. The amount of volume coming in here, it's getting absorbed like crazy, but it's not bouncing. There's so many orders coming in right now. Look at the volume. Let's get, actually, hold on. Let me back up, get rid of the other stuff there. Okay. That skewed my opinion. Let me go back a second. Oh, man. This thing's just getting smashed. Wow. Man, that thing just got annihilated. Holy crap. Well, I mean, right mindset. It left me in the dust, though. It didn't even pull back. It's still falling. What a crazy drive lower. No bounces at all. I mean, given the aggression to the downside, this really looks like it's hunting for the bottom of the range, right? I mean, that's kind of the obvious objective, is to get back down here. So 36.5750 is the major objective for the NASDAQ, or I'm sorry, for the S&P. As far as the NASDAQ goes, back down to at least 48. $36.60. This area on the S&P is kind of the last ditch effort for buyers to hold it, and it's just getting ripped through here too. Well, I don't think I'm going to get that backfill, huh? Holy cow. All right, well, the S&P obviously is in full-on bear mode. Realistically, I mean, any kind of pullback is likely going to get sold. But we're starting to come into new lows. This is a big, big area. Massive structural support at 55. That's going to be the zone for a bounce back if it's going to look for a scalp. F.Lux. I got 3 4-point scalps on the NASDAQ today. Nice. Especially with today's volatility. 4-point, man, I feel like today 4 points like a swing trade. Normally, the volatility is really good. The last couple days, though, whew, man, it's been rough. I mean, this dive down, this big move down, this might be a chance for stuck shorts who've been stuck from, man, all the way from yesterday, right? The all of those shorts that got trapped. What time was that? Like 9:30 yesterday morning. This whole area is starting to dip back to start letting them out. So this move down might just be a V bottom flush. It goes all the way back up to the top. The volume down here is incredibly high. Oh, man. Well, guess where the volume was, huh? Top of the range. Weird. What a strange place to find a bunch of volume. Don't know that anybody would have been expecting that, but... NASDAQ also built top-heavy volume. Very interesting. As far as this movement back again, I mean, the S&P still has a shot to try to take it back down to new lows. And that's sort of where I'm looking for the sellers to want to take profit and get it to bounce back up. From the perspective of the NASDAQ, it's really getting stuck at the bottom of that wedge. They're trying to break through it. The problem is if shorts can't get this going, that's going to be a really big problem for them. Whoa. All right, 346. Getting a little closer to the end of the day. The way the NASDAQ's lining up now, honestly, looks like it's gearing up for a V bottom. I wouldn't mind seeing if we can get a dip back. Or not. Why is it every time I put my order on the screen, the thing goes screaming away? What? Hey, JT, how's it going? Recovered most of the loss on the NASDAQ just now. Sweet. Nice work. On that big flush down or the bounce? Oh, nearly 50 points. Probably the flush down then, huh? I would love to see a one more quick flush to the downside, because I think a lot of sellers thinking that, you know, end of the day, this is time where it's going to start falling apart. They get too aggressively short, too far down, right? They're selling the lows of the range. In the lows of the range is exactly where I mean, that's where buyers are coming in. That's what I tried to do on the S&P. Didn't get it though. Story of my life today. And so the assumption here is that the sellers who originally dumped the market back down, they may have gotten a little bit too aggressive down here, and you can see the bump in volume. That might have been stops, but that could also very well be short sellers trying to catch a breakout. So a lot of sellers getting potentially stuck or stuck out of the move, and now it's ripping back to the upside. Well, they're going to get real nervous, and if it pops back real fast, that's their chance to jump ship. And that's usually where you get that nice pop. He says as the market V bottoms away once again, offering John no entry point. I'm glad you guys are getting something out of it at least. Big bull pop back above the previous bear bar. Huge wick rejection at the lows too. Tried buying the dip there on the S&P, but I didn't get it. Tried buying the dip on the NASDAQ. I didn't get that either. I'm willing to leave the NASDAQ one out there a little bit, though. We've got, 10 minutes until, and the NASDAQ can get pretty whippy in the final couple there. See if maybe we can get a flush back. And actually, if it does want to flush back a little bit more aggressively, there's a shot for buyers to try to take it off a 69.25 too. Normally, the stop placement, it depends on how aggressive, really. I think a lot of aggressive traders buying it aren't going to want to see it break down much through 63. So if it does start triggering in the buyers at 64.75, it's kind of like the last ditch. Come on, NASDAQ, almost there. There we go. Takes in the long at 69.25. Beautiful bounce point. I'd like to see if they can move, realistically, at least back up to 79.75. That's the 2-to-1. But if it does want to dip a little bit lower, that's fine as well. This whole area, realistically, is just sellers getting out of break even. So a target at 79.75, that might be early. But I've only got the one. For the S&P, 61.25 wouldn't hurt my feelings. For scalpers to try to play ball there. 61.25 testing, but there we go. 62.25 just to see if they want to give a scalp bounce, but if they start filling a few more, then realistically, could potentially be looking for quite a bit more. Secondary and, oh, they tested the third target, but, or the third entry point, rather. All right, NASDAQ gave me both. See if I can grab two off at 61.25 at least on the S&P. There we go. All right, so the S&P gives the scalp target off of the average, and then the final is just seeing if it wants to keep going or not. NASDAQ still riding the struggle bus a little bit. Still got a little bit of time left. Still got some time. Remember, this is a point of heavy volatility right now. Coming into the end of the day, this is when things go crazy. NASDAQ flushing through the bottom. Now, this is the point where buyers are going to try to get that move back up again. The S&P isn't seeing that move. All right, watching the NASDAQ on this flush lower, chances are this dip down is going to be met with a huge amount of buying volume underneath the bottom because all the sellers will be looking for targets there at the end of the day. So I'll be looking to bounce off of that and then just probably close out around a break even. Realistically, it just didn't get the bounce that I wanted to see. See if we can get a little bit more of a bounce back up than what that's given so far. All right, initial jump to the upside. Looking to just kind of piece out of this move back up again. The S&P, I mean, the NASDAQ was a total failure. That one just flunked through the bottom. But the S&P, I mean, that one isn't really disproving anything yet. Still feels like the S&P's got a shot. They're starting to lose some ground, though. Five minutes till the end of the day. I'm still looking for the target at 65. Come on, ES. I think I can. I think I can. Lots of resistance here in the 61s. I tried to jump out at a point, but it didn't fill me. Then it double tags my target and doesn't fill it again. All right, cool. Can I get a fill, please? Thank you, S&P. Jeez. Thanks. Yeah, bears just pushing back down again. I think that was, realistically, that was the chance for the buyers to try to take it back, and they really didn't prove much. If the sellers can gain some ground here, it wouldn't be a surprise at all to see them get a flush right at the end of the day. We've got 58 right around the corner. It's that final last little burst of volatility. Which way do they want to go? S&P just hovering, not really doing much. We've got the final minute and a half. I want to see what the NASDAQ wants to do here. We've got a really big pinch point. Looks like buyers are trying to take it. If the sellers reverse this attempt, though, that's going to be a huge problem. Keep in mind, we've got the final minute. Buyers tried coming in and they just got dunked. Whoop, nope. They came back in. Bulls need to see that breakout above the 60s. Finally, a halfway decent pullback here. Need a better push than that. Come on, NASDAQ. Get up through the highs. Get up through the highs. All right, buyers are trying to get it going. Go, 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 go. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Out right at the end. Boom. Bingo bango. Got to get it right before 4 o'clock. All right, that's going to do it. We finally got the ramp to the upside. Golly, I had to wait forever for that one. Anyway, I've got a couple meetings that I got to jump out to, so hopefully you guys had a fantastic day of trading. We finally had some action. Just had to wait for the last 2 minutes. That's all. Just no big deal. 28 minutes and nothing. But anyway, enjoy the rest of the day. I hope you had a great one, and we'll see you all back tomorrow, all right? Have a good one. We'll talk to y'all later. Thanks.